I'm trying to share just a particular screen. And in the next few seconds, I think I should have that. So this is a document I have on my screen, and it's my document. So we're going to be using this to be looking at some little tricks and hacks. I'm trying to see if I can open a second one just for this purpose. Yeah, but that's the format of a dissertation. So most times we have a document and we want to format it so that it looks really nice and really presentable, right? So this document is really not formatted. It's just all over the place. So I want us to come together and let's see if we can do some formatting. Just a basic introduction to Microsoft Word. Like Madam President has said, it's a very powerful tool used in writing and formatting your documents. So when you open a Microsoft Word document, you can open a blank document, okay? And once it's blank, it looks something like what is on my screen right now. Then the next thing is to start your work. So if you have an existing document, you can click on Home and Open, or File and Open. Mine looks a little different. Open or Open Recent. Recent is where you see the recent documents you've just worked on. And if it's a brand new one, you want to just open it afresh. Now you have a document basically, and you want it to look presentable. So we'll just be looking at select things for formatting your document. We're not really looking at everything about Microsoft Word today, but probably if you may have one or two specific areas of concern, then you can actually ask. So first of all, to make it look presentable, like this particular one in front of me, we want to put it in separate pages. So if for example, if you're working on a dissertation, you know that the preliminary pages have to be on their own. They can't overlap. So let's say this is your first page and you want every page to be on their own. So there's something called page break. So you would want to start by putting a page break for every preliminary page. So these are the preliminary pages. Now we have the cover page. Then we have so the cover page is actually all entering into different pages. Then we have your next page, which is your attestation page, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to take this to all be in one page. Sometimes this overlaps as being in the same page. So if you want a new page, basically, and you don't want things to push it down when you're typing above it, you have to insert a page break. And when you insert a page break, everything below your cursor comes to the next page. Sorry, I've done it all long. This is all scattered right now. I think I will go to the other document. That is a little more arranged. All right, let me use this one. I need to hide this panel, blocking my screen. All right, so you want to insert a page, just one page at a time. So let us assume that in this page right now, I want my methods to start on a new page. So I have to click in front of it. That's the front here, methods, right? And go to insert, where you see page break. Once you click on page break, it starts this on a new page. Now, the advantage of putting a page break instead of just pressing enter several times, which is what some people may want to do, is that if you press enter several times and you later want to add additional information above where your page break is, it shifts your work down. And you may just want this to start at the beginning of a page. Whereas if you put in a page break, even if I come to this place here and I add extra information, right? I keep pressing enter. When I go back to that page, my method hasn't shifted. So it's still fixed there. So that is the advantage of using a page break as opposed to pressing enter until you get to a new page. Now, the second one here is how to justify your work. So sometimes our work is not aligned properly. You have in the Home tab where you have most of all the features of Microsoft Word that is used frequently. It's in the Home tab. Okay, so in that Home tab, a lot of formatting functions are here that we mostly use, and it's basically straightforward. This particular one here is the Align tab, and it tells you, so this is the spacing, sorry. This is your align here, the 4 options. So this is to align it to the left, to the center, to the right, and justify it. Most times when we start typing, it is automatically on left align. Left align means that everything you're typing is starting on a straight line by the left, and the right doesn't necessarily have to be on the margin straight down. A professional work is mostly justified align, meaning that the margins, the write-up starts on a straight line at the left, and it also ends on a straight line at the right. And if it needs to space out the characters a little bit to achieve that, it does that. So this is what it looks like. So you can see the straight at the right and at the left. All you need to do is to highlight the text you want to justify and click on justify align. And most times, if you have a large body of text and you want to do a lot of aligning at the same time, probably the text you want to justify is much more than the others that you want to be in the center or you want to be on the left or on the right. You can simply do Control A. Control A is like selecting everything in your text. So that's Control A. Then you click on justify. Then you can actually go manually one by one to adjust this small number of text that needs to be on the left or on the right. So I'll do Control A, and that takes up almost all it selects all my documents, and I justify it. Sometimes you may want to centralize it. So this is what center align looks like, but it's mostly for headings. So I'm going to justify this, and I come to my methods, select it, and put it in the center if that's how you want your heading to be. Okay, we don't have so much time today, so we're just going to be taking the tips and hacks one at a time. Okay, maybe we'll have time for 1 or 2 specific questions at the end of the day. Now, how do we put special headings? If you look at this work, you will see that there are different headings. Some are in larger, some are in capital letters, and some are in initial capital. Okay, so the ones that are all capitals are the major headings, while the ones that are in initial capitals are the minor headings, or what we call the subheadings. Ideally, if you type in your headings manually and you format them manually, then when you're putting in a table of contents, you will then have to type in a table of contents manually. So it is advised that you use the headings formatting option of Microsoft Word. And if you do that, you would be able to create a table of content automatically. So you don't actually need to start checking which page did this heading occur to put in my table of content, because your Word document is always evolving. Most times you start it today, by the time it's 10 pages, when you're finishing it in a week's time, it's 25 pages, and you have to now go back and retype all your numberings afresh. But if you do it automatically, all you need to do is update, and your table of contents automatically updates with the correct date. Now, how do you put in headings? Once you've put in a heading, I'll start from my introduction, and I want that to be in the middle. Sorry, let me remove this for another. Okay. So now this is my introduction, and I want this to be a heading. Now on this Home tab, if you have your Microsoft Word open and you click on your Home tab, you would see this thing here, this box that has the normal font, no spacing, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and heading 4. It can have as many headings as possible. The normal font is for your body of text, right? And that's basically where it is whenever you're typing. It's on normal. So it doesn't take it as a heading, it takes it as a normal body of text. Now your heading 1 is a major heading or your first heading, or what you would normally put as 1.0, 2.0 if you were numbering your headings. And if I want this to be a major heading, I simply highlight it, or I can click anywhere in it and simply say heading 1. So automatically my introduction has been assigned as a heading 1, and I can format it. So if I don't want my heading 1 to be a Times New Roman font size 12, whatever formatting I give to it, whenever I highlight a body of text as a heading, it will automatically give it that formatting option. All you need to do to format it is to right-click on that heading and say modify. And I can now change it. So I want it to be size 14 font. So any first heading I have should be a size 14 font. And I say, okay, there are other formatting options there, but we'll just do this. So that's my heading 1, introduction. Now I want this purpose of the study to be a subheading under introduction. So I highlight it and I make it heading 2. Heading 2 is a first subheading under a major heading. And if I click on heading 2, it takes the formatting of what you see here as a heading 2. Well, now the body of text is blue. I don't want it to be blue. I can modify it. So I go back to my heading 2. I don't know if anybody is with their laptop or trying to follow. I'll appreciate it if you're following and you want any specific direction, please let me know. So I'm not too fast. So that is heading 2, and I want it to be smaller than heading 1, or but of the same font. So that it is in Calibri. I want to take it back to Times New Roman, and I leave it at size 13. Since it's a subheading, it shouldn't be the same size as the major heading. And I want it to be black. So I have to go back to modify and change the color to black because it's a formal writing I am doing. So that's the purpose of the study. Now I may have another heading. Let me call it specific objectives, just for us to understand that you could have more than 2 headings. So these specific objectives now is a 3rd heading, right? And I want it to be heading 3. So I've clicked on heading 3. It has assumed heading 3, and I want to modify it. It's still going to be black. It's now size 12, and it's Times New Roman, but now I want to italicize it. So my heading 3 takes that. So this is, whenever you click on a body of text, it tells you, it highlights which of the headings it is. Whenever you're working on a document and you've put heading and you're not sure, just click on it or highlight it. Automatically tells you which heading. So this is a heading 2. I've clicked here. It's now jumps to heading 3. And if I go to my introduction and click on it, it has jumped to heading 1. So with these 3 headings now, you can do that for every body of text you have and for every heading. My methods, I just need to click somewhere inside it, click on heading 1. You can see that it has adjusted has assumed the heading and adjusted the formatting accordingly. And if I also go to my results and click on heading 1, it has also done that. Now, the whole aim is to create an automated table of content and to make it easy for us to have similar formatting throughout our work. Now I want to create a table of content, and I want to do it here in between my cover page and my abstract. So this is my cover page. I want to create a new page in between these 2 pages. So I will click at the end of this page, and I want to insert a page break. That's a good way of creating a new page. Now I go to my abstract and send it to a new page, a page break. So I have created that page break. Let me make this abstract also a heading. And I'm going to click it and put it as heading 1. So now I want to insert a table of content on this page. I click on the page and I type here, table of content. That's where it's going to be. And on the next line, everything that you want to do in Microsoft Word and it starts with I want to insert is usually in the insert tab most times. If you don't know where to find it, right? So I'm going to go to insert and I'm going to go to table of contents. So let me come here instead. Here is my table of contents. Luca, please help me. This Microsoft Word is.
Check references.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to references, most likely. Exactly. So it's in references, okay? And here, the first option here is your table of contents. But there's a little drop down here so that you can have options to choose from, okay? So now I want to insert a table of content and you have different styles. So you have the classic style, heading 1, heading 2. There's a different style. So you just pick any one that appeals to you. I'll pick the first one. And it inserts it wherever your cursor is at that point. If you note here, I didn't do anything. I just inserted the table of content and I can see all my headings with my page numbers all there. If you don't want your lines, you still have the option of modifying this table of content to how you want it to be. You can update it as you have been working on it, pushing pages down, pushing it up, changing the names of your titles. Once you click on update, it automatically updates it to the current status of your work. And if you want to remove it, you can also remove it, right? Now we don't want to remove it. We want to be sure that everything is okay. So you can see the format that we chose, the major headings are on a line and the minor headings are indented. And the third level headings are also indented. So that's the structure that we chose. We have other structures too. Now, these are also headings that were selected at the time I was doing this document. So it has actually shown these as headings. If you don't want them to be headings anymore, you simply go to that body of text, highlight it, and select normal. Normal text takes it away as being a heading. So that's for table of contents. We will now look a little at table of figures. I hope I'm not taking too much of my time. Before I go to table of figures, let us just insert a cover page to this work. Now, if you want a standard cover page, you don't want to create one yourself, you want a template, for example. So you click at the beginning of your work where you want to put your cover page. On the insert tab, the first option here is cover page, but you have different styles to choose from. So if you're doing a report or you're writing an article or something and you need a cover page and you just want to choose from a nice template or a proposal, right? This one is a one that looks very formal. So let me choose this. So that's basically your cover page all there. And all you need to do is to edit it. So it says date here. And if you say publish date, it can actually give you the current dates if you want it, right? So I've clicked on the current dates and it has given that to me. And you can put in the title of your document, right? MWAN reverse report, subtitle, it's June 2022. This is basically because the office document is registered to this name. So you can change it to who prepared this document, your company name, and your address. So, but you can type in any other information you want to put in here. So this is just a template. You can modify it as you like. So that's a very nice looking formal cover page, right? And there are several other options to choose from. So you can play around with it and see which cover page suits the message that you want to pass across, and format it, edit it, put in your own information as the case may be. So that's for a cover page. So let us now look at one other thing before I move to table of figures. We want to put in different page numbers for different parts and sections of your work. So that takes us to section headings or section breaks, page breaks, and line breaks. So that's basically all the breaks you can think of. So if you have your inserts, the most common one here is page break. But if you go to the main tab and you go to insert and you see break, you can see it has page break, it has column break, it has section break. And for section break, it could be next page section break, a continuous section break, and so on and so forth. So, but the important thing is that the difference between a page break and a section break is that if you want to put a different kind of formatting in a particular section of your work, it's better to use a section break. That way, when you're formatting it in terms of the layout as either portrait or standard or the that's the wide layout, or you're putting different kind of numberings, like in dissertations, they usually ask that if the preliminary pages are put in Roman numerals, that's the I, and it's a bit difficult. Some people are like, how do I put different kinds of numbering? And once you get to chapter 1, you start from page 1, page 2, page 3. The way to do that is by using a section break. So this section would number in a different way, and this section would number in a different way. So we're going to put a section break starting from this first page of our work, and the abstract and the table of contents would be a different section. So let me insert a break, and I'm going to say section break next page. Continuous to make it look as if it's continuing from the next section. So this is a section break now. Then the section ends after my abstract. It ends after my introduction. So I'm going to go to the beginning of introduction and insert another section break. So that's the end of that section. Section break next page, not continuous. Now, when I want to number, I have 3 pages in this first section, and the remaining are in a different page. I just simply come to this first section where I am, and I want to insert page numbering. So we're doing the page numbering and the breaks together. In that same insert tab, if you come further down the right, you see page number, and there's a little button beside it. And you can format your page numbers so that you can decide how you want it to be. So that's the format page number. The number format here is 1, 2, 3, but I don't want it to be 1, 2, 3. I want it to be I. So that's what I've selected, right? And it asks me, do you want to start at I? You could choose to start further down if you have numbered previous sections a particular way. So I want to start at I. And it also asks you if you want to continue from previous sections. So if you had a previous section that stopped at IV, you could just simply continue, and it will continue as V and VI. But this is the first section, so I will simply say start at I, and I say okay. Now if you come, where's my page number? Let me do that again. The page number didn't appear. So I'm going to page number and format, and it's starting at I. So I haven't told you where to, so let me just come here and just click page number. So it's going to be at the bottom of the page, and it's going to be in the center. So let me see if it will show. Show number on first page, so that's okay. So I guess it will show now, yeah. So it's here now, that's the I. The table of content now is I. and my abstract is I. Now let me see if it puts it in my introduction. It doesn't. So you can see that the numbering has stopped because that was a section. I had separated it. So what if any formatting I'm doing would just affect that section? So now I can come to my introduction till the end and now number it how I want to. So under page numbers, I will format it to 1, 2, 3, and I will start at 1, not 0. And I will go back and insert my page numbers at the center, bottom, and I will show it on my first page. This show number on first page is important where you have a work that has a cover page and you haven't separated that section. It wouldn't put a number on your cover page because it's not ideal to have a number on your cover page. So I will say, okay, and I can see now that from my introduction is a different numbering pattern from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Let's just take a 1-minute break and let me see if everything is okay. Do we have any questions? Just take a breather for 1 minute. I've been talking for too long, and I hope I haven't lost everybody.
Oh, no, I think we're very much with you. But can I ask that if you have a question, please put it on the chat box. We'll take another 5 minutes to respond to your questions. I think the only two things left, or the only thing left, is table of figures and tables, how to automatically get that.
I'm commenting and reviewing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, reviewing, editing using the review button. That's true. But please just put in your questions into the chat box. If you want to send an appreciation to Oge, please do that. Somebody wants you to show the breaks again. Where did you break something and how did you break it? Please just.
All right, let's break it again, right? Let's break it. We can undo, and that's a good thing about Microsoft Word. You can undo a lot of things. That's where we put our break, right? So we undo up to that point and we can break it again. So the question is, where do you want the break to be? So at the beginning of your section and at the end of your section, that's where you insert your section break. If it's if it is from the beginning of your document, then you only need to insert the section break at the end of that first section. But here we have a cover page, so I don't want it to include the cover page. So I'm going to start from my page 2, which is here at the beginning, and I'll go to insert. So that's my insert there, and I have break, and I have page break. I come down, column break, no, this section break, and I want it to start on this as a next page, not as a continuation of the previous page. Sometimes you may have a section. This continuous means that you have maybe 2 paragraphs and you want the new paragraph to be a new section, but you don't want the new paragraph to go to a new page. So you use a continuous. So I'm going to use here next page. So a new section is here. And my section ends at the beginning of my introduction or before it. So that's why I'm going to insert break and section break next page. If you want to see where your breaks are, and there's actually a way to see it, on the home button, you see this P facing the back. So it's a P that is facing backward. And if you click on that P, you see all the formatting in your work, including your section breaks and so on and so forth. It's not visible in the real work and it doesn't show when you print, but just for you to know where you've inserted a break and not. All right. So now I'm going to remove that. So that's a section break. And I want to put my page numbering. I want a different numbering on this section that has 3 pages, my cover page, my table of content, and my abstract. So wherever I am in that section, I simply click in that section and go to my insert and page numbers. So this is the page numbers here with a little button. But to format it, because I want a specific type of numbering, I want the I, and the III. So I select that format of numbering and I'm starting at the beginning. And then I want to insert it at the center, and at the bottom. So it's all in this page numbering tab. So I can see my page numbering now. Why doesn't this one keep showing? This is II and this is III, but the I didn't show for a particular reason, probably because I didn't start from that page. So the next thing is to I think there's a problem with this thing here. Sorry, show number on first page. Now that's it. So I didn't click on this show number on first page. So that's why it didn't show there. So I have clicked on it and the number is now visible. Sorry about that. So now I want to go to my introduction downwards and also put in page numbers, but format it as 1, 2, 3 and start at 1. So I've changed the formatting and I'm going to insert it and show number on the first page in the bottom center, and the numbering is there now. So I hope that helps. Now I have some tables, right? The same rule applies for tables and for figures. So I'm going to go to table. I hope I still remember how to do this. And your table headings, right? You want to highlight it and you want to make them as a table heading. Right now, I'm not sure I remember. All right, so you want to automatically insert a list of tables or a list of figures, right? Yeah. So now we have the sorry. So this is the table of figures, which could also be a list of figures or list of tables. But you have to first of all insert your caption, I think. So the caption is figure 1 for that particular one. I want to change it to a table. So that's table. So it's now a table 1. And you may want to change the label to a new label. I choose to leave it that way and position it above the selected item. Numbering format is numbered 1, 2, 3. I don't want to include chapter numbers. And let's see. So that is now the automated table heading that we have given to it. And whatever that comes in front of it is taken as a table heading. So if you haven't put your heading, you simply highlight your table and it places the heading above that table. So that's table 1. So I'm going to go to table 2, right? I'm going to insert this one. I typed it by hand, right? I want the one that is automated. So I'm going to insert caption. So this is now table 2. So it automatically now knows that you've already put a table 1. It's not bringing it for you. You can choose to type in the heading here yourself because I already have my heading and I want to copy it and paste. So now I put a caption as table 2. So table 2 is there. I'm just going to copy my heading that is already there and put it. It takes it in the same format. So I have 2 tables. I should have one more table here. So you come to, so all I'm doing is under references, in case you didn't follow. So that's references and where you have insert caption, insert table of figures. So you have insert caption. So it's the caption we are inserting and it automatically numbers it accordingly for you. So if you put a table in between 2 tables later on, right, it updates the number of your table for you. So you don't need to go back and now start switching table numbers. So that's the good thing about making it automated. So this is table 3. And that's the heading. So I'm going to remove this one I typed manually because it's not going to show in my automated table of figures. So now we have 3 tables. I think we can create a list of tables. It's usually at the beginning of our work, right? So after my table of contents, I'm going to click somewhere in the bottom and put a new page, insert a page break. And this is where I want my list of tables to be. Remember, we went to references. Now, beside where we were inserting captions is now the insert table of figures. In our instance, is a list of tables. So now you say, what's the caption label? It's a table. You can do another one for figures and another one for equation, or create a template for your own. And we want to include the label number, show page numbers, align it to the left, and use links instead of page numbers. You can choose. So once you click that link, it takes you to the table, right? And you want this dot that takes you to the end, or you may not want it. Sometimes people want that. So that's my nicely created table of content. Because I didn't put the heading, I guess there should be a way for it to put the heading for you. So let me just put the list of tables. So imagine when you have like 20 tables, right? And it does this for you. It's like a breath of fresh air, and it's like, oh God, thank you for whoever created Microsoft Word. Like, you're my best friend right now. So, and as you edit, did they say I made a mistake and it's not awareness, right?
Absolutely.
It's utilization. I know why that feeling is just out of this world. Like, when I discovered references software, I almost wanted to find the person and just fuck and kiss that person. That's the same thing with Microsoft Word. So I've changed it to utilization, right? So I just need to go back to my table. My list of tables is here. And I'm clicking, oh good. And I want to update it. I didn't even need to update it. That's changed it to, sorry, this is where I want to be, right? Okay, no, it has a hyperlink. Oh, sorry. So once I click on it, it takes me back to the table. So let me click outside here. So I want to update it. So Maduka is just taking me to where I don't want to go to. Because of the hyperlink, right, I'm having a problem. So I'll just insert it afresh and see. I want to replace it, yes. So that's it, utilization instead of awareness. Thank you. Finally, let me just brush over this. I've taken a lot of time. We want to
5 minutes.
comment, review, edit, track changes. So a work is sent to you to review, or you're trying to put in comments on a work and you want somebody else, maybe a third party, or even yourself in future, to see the changes you have made in that work, so that you can actually decide whether to accept the changes or revert back to your original version of that work, right? So most times it's used for reviewing a document. So this is the review tab for everything review. And if you click on review, right? If you click on review, then you have different options. But where we are interested in mostly is from this place for today, right? There's a lot of other things that can be done here. Now, this is to create a new comment, but you need to highlight the area that the comment is referring to, okay? The area that the comment is referring to. So here, I want to comment about this entire first paragraph. I'll probably ask for a change in the structure. So this is me now. I'm starting a conversation for whoever is going to view it after me, is going to see my write-up, and I say, I don't know, just totally restructure it. Like some reviewers will just say, not relevant, as of some wicked reviewers. Totally.
Careful, those wicked reviewers are in this meeting. Calm down.
Totally change this paragraph. Like, you don't know where to start from again. So that's it. So, and can actually see that. Okay. Yeah, leave this place now. Sorry. So that's for a comment, but you can actually make your change direct. Like if for a nice reviewer, You want to just edit it so that the person will just accept, and everything is fantastic. So you now track changes in that instance so that the person at the other end can actually see what was changed, accept or reject it. So that's turn on track changes. Just by clicking here, that's track changes. Whatever you put in, there is like a red marking on it so that it's visible. So are you tracking just yourself or for everyone? For everyone, so everybody can see. So I'm going to track changes. I'm going to add more details probably at the beginning of this work. Just a sentence. So introducing the clinical skills lab to medical students early in their area. Okay, so I've tracked it. First of all, you see this red line because the option here is simple markup. So that anybody that opens this, anybody see a red line, they know that somebody has inserted or edited these documents and they can actually view what was inserted. But if you put here all markup, it actually tells you exactly what was done. So it's now, you can see there is a highlight, it underlines it, right? Let me click out of here. It's underlined, it is on show comments. Now let me turn off show comments. Okay, I haven't posted that comment actually. All right, so it's now underlines it. So we can now see that this comment was inserted. It wasn't initially there because we've been tracking changes. And if I want to accept it, right, I can simply say accept. Once you have accepted it, it no longer shows as a change because you have accepted that change. So it goes off and is now part of your work bona fidely. You can also, that's the edits we've edited. We've made a comment and usually you will see this pop up, this comments button that just looks like a cloud or something. Once you click on it, you can now see a comment that was made, right? And you can actually go off and you not see the comments again. I hope I've been able to make a little sense today and show us a little 1 or 2 hacks. The time is just enough for us to have a broad overview so that we can actually go back and do some practice. Okay, there's a lot of materials out there on YouTube, but simply sitting down on your Word document and playing around with it, you'll be able to discover much. Thank you so much, Dr. Maduka and MWAN Rivers, for this opportunity. Thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome, Oge. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us that knowledge that you have for this. Really, really, really appreciate your time. Can we please just appreciate Dr. Isokariari? It's barely a week I gave her this task and she's been able to deliver with flourish. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate we're getting questions, we're getting comments, accolades, and appreciation for Dr. Isokariari. We want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Someone is asking how to remove your name from an editing. Maybe you're working on something in track changes and you don't want the reviewers, the people looking to know that you are the one that reviewed. What can you do? How do you remove your name? And I don't know, Oge, you can respond in the chat box because we will need to move on. Or anybody, Felicia, myself, anybody who is able can also just respond in the chat box because we really need to move on. We had 30 minutes assigned to this, we've done 45, but I think it's 45 minutes well spent. I want to thank every one of you for joining us. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen now. Thank you very, 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 very much. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, okay, just go through, look at questions and be responding as we're going along in the meeting. Folosh, also please help us as much as you can, respond to some of the questions. that we are asking is important. Let's let people know how they can remove their name. Beautiful. All right, so we need to make progress to our new business. At this point, our guests are free to excuse us. Like I said, we would